Ever wondered what it's like to be a bee?
No, I don't think anyone.
Well, today I'm surviving 100 days as a bee in hardcore Minecraft. There are a few special things about this video though. For example, I can fly, fit through 1 block gaps, and only have 5 hearts. Also, make sure to subscribe to the algorithm and let's get straight into it. So I spawned in what looks like a beehive. There was loads of other bees in there, and I guess I was just born, so I went outside and explored just everywhere. Also, because I was new to this world, I wanted to test out the full damage, and it turns out I take literally none. Like you can see, I'm trying with different increments of how high it was, and I just jumped off the whole mountain and took none. Let me tell you, if that did not work, this video would not be happening right now. I then got some wood and had a chat with some really nice looking flower. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'd really like to fly away with you. Oh, wait. And for the rest of the day, I gathered more wood for building a house in the future. The next day, I then got some more wood and then made myself some wooden tools. I needed to get mining straight away because mining, can get you a lot of good stuff, and iron is one of the most important things considering I only have 5 hearts. Then with those wooden tools I got stone and then got stone tools. I also tested my full damage again just to make sure, and sure enough I take none. And then finally I started mining. On day 3 I basically just mined for the whole day. I got some iron and some coal and then made a furnace. In that furnace I smelted all my iron and then killed some animals while it was smelting. While I killed the animals I only managed to get 4 iron, which isn't that good, but I took it and then left because I wanted to go find somewhere to build my house. For basically all of day 4 I was looking for a place to build. I really wanted a floating island because it would look really cool being a bee on a floating island, and I can fly so I can get there easy. I found one and then decided to flatten it because there was a bit of stuff on there and some trees. I also man down the trees and then started to build the house. Also, because I'm a bee, I'm only 1 block high, meaning I only wanted this house to be 1 block high. This means that basically no other species can get in there other than, a fox that I made my last video on, but other than that, there's not too much else that you can get in here. Also, this house is going to be flying, so I don't think foxes are going to be able to get in here anyway. I then made a trapdoor, my door, and then ran out of wood, so I got some nearby and then carried on to day 5. I finished my house and then placed all the chests and crafting table and furnace, emptied out my inventory, and then went looking for some of my family and friends to show them. Before I did that though, I made myself some iron tools. I went back to the beehive and placed torches so it was easier to see, and then hopefully it would bring out some bees or attract some bees from nearby. From day 6 to 8, I was still looking for some other bees and then sat AFK for 2 days. I was hoping if I sat AFK, a few more bees would come nearby and I could show them my house, but I didn't actually end up finding any. And the worst part was, when I came back, my house was on fire. I have no idea who did it. I don't know where they are, don't know what species they are, but I want revenge. From day 9 to 10, I hid from whoever it was. I didn't want to die, and they clearly had some better stuff than me because I didn't have a flint and steel at the moment, and they did. I waited a whole day and made sure they were gone. I then went back and there was literally nothing left of my house. The only things were a few bits of my chest and crafting table and furnace, but basically the whole walls and everything had been taken down. I also saw there were no bees nearby either, so I chose to move. On day 11, I was still looking for the new place. I also found a sand that I decided to break and watch it fall. Honestly, I think it's the best thing in the game, and I just love watching the sand just fall whenever I break the stuff. I also found a village and took some of the hay, and then also saw this temple thing in the desert. It was different to a desert temple that's in normal vanilla Minecraft, and also had some gold at the top, so I decided I wanted to go in. From day 12 to 13, I spent the whole time in the temple thing trying to figure out a way to not die and also see what loot there was. There was literally tons of skeletons, and I had to kill so many of them. At some point, I did think I was going to die, but I ended up getting away, and also I found my first diamonds. In this whole temple, I found a total of 7, but then towards the end of me being there, I found the center of the temple where there were just too many skeletons, and I knew that I would die if I tried to go in there. Just remember, I'm literally like a 2-hit to all skeletons, so I didn't want to take that risk. On day 14, I went looking for a new place to have my house. I wanted a similar place to last time, but just bigger because I wanted to have more stuff in there. It took a while just to find another floating island because most of them were just not there and were either too small or just too big. I then found one that would look pretty good with my 1 block tall house and then cleared out the land and made it flat. I then also got some wood for my house when I started to make it. Then the next day I basically spent the whole time just getting wood and making planks and then building the house. I also made it 1 block high as I said before, and it was actually pretty big. There was also this massive open area at the sides where I can fly in and out for the entrance and exit. I just thought it looks pretty good having the whole thing open, and it's just a lot easier to use. I then placed down the crafting table on the chests in the places they needed to be, and I was done with the house. From day 16 to 18, I went mining for some iron. I wanted to get full iron armor and tools, and then hopefully progress from there. I went really deep and found a lot of cool looking caves. This was because there's a caves mod in this world that I used, and also I wanted to find some diamonds in there too if I could see any, but I didn't manage to find any at all. I also found a chest in these custom caves with some pretty bad loot, but still it means there's some chests around that I can hopefully find some better stuff in. I also got loads of iron, which is why I came down here, and I was pretty much ready to go. And then on day 19, I was still mining, but this time I still needed a bit more iron to get that full iron armor. However, this time I was about to look into a mine shaft, but I managed to get bitten by a cave spider. The poison got me down to half a heart, and that means if anything hit me, I would actually be dead. Literally all it took was a skeleton or a zombie to just come around and just hit me and I was dead. But I managed to use the golden apple that I found in the chest right next to the cave spider spawner, and then got back to full health. After that, I was basically done with all the iron that I needed, and then made my way back to the house. From day 20 to 21, I was back at home and made a diamond pickaxe and sword, and then also made full iron armor because being at 5 hearts without any sort of protection was just far too risky. I also sat AFK in my house because I needed to go do something downstairs or something. I don't know. I was probably just eating cereal, but I sat AFK for the rest of day 21. From day 22 to 24, I went to go get some obsidian, so I made a bucket. I then got some water from the ocean nearby and then went back into the mine. I remember seeing tons of lava pools down there, and surely I could just use one of them to get tons of obsidian. It took absolutely ages because I needed to get 10 pieces, and obsidian just takes a while to get. Also, I couldn't actually find the lava at the start, so I also had to spend time getting that. The reason I was getting all this obsidian because I wanted to go to Nether in the future, and you know, you need obsidian for the portal. Also, on day 25, I decided to go and look for something to explore and came across this hidden temple with a load of spawners in and some gold on the side. I wanted to destroy all the spawners and take all the gold in this temple, but because it would really help with trading in the Nether. But there was just too many mobs and I couldn't actually get the stuff yet. Then from day 26 to 32, the whole time I spent finishing this temple. I had to keep flying away from these skeletons because they made it so much harder than I thought. Like when I mined a spawner, it turned into a pig spawner, and then they just switched back to the spawner they were before. Throughout all the spawners, there was creepers, skeletons, and zombies. The creepers were pretty easy because I could just make them explode and destroy their own spawner, but the skeletons were the hard part. Eventually, I managed to get all the gold that I needed because I just blocked myself in and they couldn't actually reach me. Once I got the gold, that's basically all I wanted here, and it took far too long to complete what I wanted to do, but I managed to get an extra 8 blocks on top of the 4 that I got from that other temple. Now from day 33 to 34, I was still in that temple, but I was ready to leave. While I was in there, I actually just saw a bunny sat in the corner, and I went over to it, and it was called the Killer Bunny. I also wanted to see how much damage it did, and with all of my armor, it literally nearly one-shot me. Like, it left me off 1 heart. I don't know how it did so much damage as a bunny, but I really wanted to kill it and see what it drops. But of course, when I was trying to kill the bunny, all the skeletons and zombies came back, and it made it a lot harder than it should have been. I then had to lure the bunny into the lava pool that was there, so it would take some damage, and then I could get myself some easy hits using my shield. The killer bunny's health was actually amazing as well. Like, it took so long to kill, even with my diamond sword. And then finally, after getting very close to giving up, it finally dies while on fire to the lava, and it dropped some pretty alright stuff. Like, it was probably not worth the 10 days of work, but it was decent, and now I can make something with these. I don't know, there's just some stuff there. From day 37 to 38, I made my way back home and emptied my inventory. After that long fight, I was really tired, so I just wanted to go and fly around for a bit and explore some new things because, you know, it's modded and there's some extra stuff in here. I then came across a cool hot air balloon, and I decided to look inside and see what was in there. There was basically nothing. I also went inside the balloon part and there was still nothing. And then I saw this floating castle thing. The castle looked pretty good and there were some spawners in there, so I wanted to have a look around. From day 39 to 42 was the time that I spent doing this castle. The reason it took so long, even though it was so small, there was just so many spawners. Like, around the sides there was some normal skeleton spawners that I had to mine through the walls to get to, and also at the same time there was just tons of skeletons shooting at me. Also, while I was trying to get these spawners, there was like some armored zombie trying to kill me with an iron block. I don't know what was happening. I've never seen this before, and like I said, it's modded, so I have no idea why. From day 43 to 44, I got onto the side and there was just tons of ores just everywhere, and also a spawner with a mob with some armor on. It looks pretty scary if they spawn, so I just destroyed it as quickly as possible and then also took some of the ore. Then went downstairs and there was a throne made out of some weird block. I don't know what it was, but I started mining it and then spotted a trapdoor in the corner. I flied down there because I didn't want to take any chances in case there was anything down there, and it turns out there was. It was basically just a dungeon full of zombies with armor on, and I figured they probably did quite a lot of damage, so I didn't want to just jump down there straight away, and I decided to mine into the side. From day 45 to 50, I spent the whole time literally just killing these mobs. I actually think they had like unlimited health until I ended up killing them because they just took so long to kill. Also, I could barely reach the spawner and I had to mine from above so I wouldn't die to the mobs. And then finally I killed a few and managed to get down there. I hid behind the iron bars that separated me from the rest of them, and I managed to hit them because I had longer reach than them. It was really annoying because of how far away they were and how much health they had, but I still ended up hitting them. Once I did, there was tons of diamonds on the floor, and obviously I mined all of them. Like, I'm not gonna just miss out some diamonds. I ended up getting loads of diamonds from this, and hopefully I can use them in the future. On day 51, I went to the big sand castle that was right next to the hot air balloon and the flying castle, and saw how hard it looked. Like, I really didn't want to chance myself on doing this because of how long I think it would have taken. It would have taken so long, and I just wanted to get everything back home, to be honest. Also, it looked really hard because of how many spawners there were, and I took a peek in there and I took some damage literally instantly, and it looked really scary. I then went back home and emptied my inventory on day 52 from going out and getting new stuff. I really didn't like getting my inventory cluttered because I never do, and just putting everything back into the chests was the best thing. On day 53, I went out to get some flint. I needed the flint because I wanted to make a nether portal soon, and obviously you need flint for flint and steel. I also had to look around for quite a bit because there was no flint around or any gravel, so I had to fly around past a few mountains to get some. Then eventually I came back with the flint and then took obsidian and made the portal below the house. Now I could enter the nether whenever I wanted to. Before going to the nether on day 54, I made all the gold blocks into ingots. I did this because I wanted to trade with some piglins and need gold ingots for that. Piglins can hopefully help me to get some ender pearls, and I need ender pearls for the eyes of ender. This would also make it a lot easier to finally beat the ender dragon in this. From day 55 to 62, I spent the whole time trading with piglins. I had way too much gold for the amount of piglins there were, and it honestly just took ages for them to trade everything. Like, I had a few stacks of gold and it just took forever. The stuff I got from the trades was alright, and I also got a few pearls after a few stacks of gold. I'm pretty sure the new update changed the drop rates on ender pearls from piglins, and this is because I'm playing on 1.17. Like, I barely got any ender pearls for how much gold I actually put in. Also, I got quite a lot of fire res for the blazes, and hopefully I can use them just to not die in the fortress when I find it. On day 63, the whole time was spent trying to find the fortress. Took absolutely ages, and I couldn't find one for so long. Honestly, if I was trying to speedrun this would be the worst seed possible, because like, it took over a day to find a fortress. From day 64 to 67, I spent the whole time fighting the blazes for the rods. I did this once I eventually found the fortress, and it honestly took ages. I obviously took the fire res, so I took basically no damage from the blazes, and turns out I couldn't actually find many blazes at all. I also killed some wither skeletons for the hope of getting some wither skulls, but I didn't actually end up getting any. Also, there was this really weird blaze spawner that wasn't spawning any at all. I have no idea why. I did mine away a few of the blocks to see if it would work, but it just didn't, so I had to go around somewhere else to go get some. Eventually, I got enough rods so that I could leave, and I thought I had enough, or so I thought. So, yeah, turns out you should always write down your coordinates somewhere before you go and do something. And from day 68 to 74, I spent the whole time looking for my portal. I have no idea how I lost it, and I actually had a loss of direction as well. Like, I didn't even know which way I came from. So I decided to go over to 00, the coordinates, and look around to see for my portal. Also, the problem is I don't know where in the overworld my base is, which is where the portal is. Meaning I would have to probably travel in like a 600 block radius in the nether just to look for the portal. It took me so long because like I just searched for ages and couldn't find it. I was actually close to cheating and just typing in a command to find it, but I didn't end up doing that because I thought it'd be cheating and wouldn't feel like it would be a proper 100 days. Eventually I did find it, and I could just enter back through the portal and get back to work. On day 75, I finally got back home and made more chests because there was no room in the last chest, and also my inventory was getting pretty full. I also got some wood to make that chest, and then made some spare shields as well as a bow for fighting the ender dragon. I got so much arrows from trading with the piglins that I just thought it would be the best thing to do, and hopefully it will work. Then on day 76, it was finally time to go to the stronghold. I made some Eyes of Ender and then threw the first eye. It took ages to find the stronghold, obviously, because I traveled a few thousand blocks away from spawn, and I'm guessing it was probably the other side of spawn because I just traveled for ages. Eventually I made it to the area that I needed to, and I was just above the stronghold. I mined down and realized I only had 10 Eyes of Ender, which means I would only have enough if there was 2 Eyes of Ender already in the portal. And the chances of that are not very promising, so I was kind of scared and was ready to go back to my house and then go back to Nether to get more stuff. Then I found the portal and there was 3 in there. I was actually so happy, and this just means I don't have to go back to Nether and go get more blaze rods and ender pearls. Also, I wanted to make sure I had better armor before I went into the end, because it can be pretty scary if you're only in iron armor. And also, I only have 5 hearts, so even if I get hit once in iron armor, I'm pretty sure I'd die from the ender dragon. Then on day 82, I travelled back to the house so then I could make myself some diamond armor. I really felt iron armor would not be good enough, and I had all the diamonds I needed, so I made some armor. I didn't end up having enough for boots, but basically having more diamond armor just meant I could stay alive for longer without dying. Also, it'll be a lot easier to kill the ender dragon in diamond because, you know, I won't be more scared for going in for things. Then on day 87, I managed to make my way back to the stronghold and enter the end. I was kind of scared about this fight because of how much damage the dragon can do, and also I only have 5 hearts, so it'll be really easy to die. And then from day 92 to 100, I was fighting the ender dragon. It took ages because of how scared I was of the dragon, and every time I tried flying in to go and sword it, it just came towards me, and the first time I tried it, I got hit and I got really scared from then on. I really didn't want to take the chance because I was basically at the end of this video, and if I had to restart it, it honestly would have been a massive waste of time. So I had to sit back and bow the dragon from far. I also took out all the crystals as well, which would make it a lot easier, and then finally I got the dragon low enough to where I could finally kill it. This means I'd survived Minecraft for 100 days as a bee.